Good morning. This is a kind of a crisp, clear morning that reminds me of fall. This is closer to what a opening September Sunday in the church here would be up in New England compared to down here. And I'll take that. That's all right. I like it. I like it. It's great. I'm Bob Renjilian. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the minister of this congregation since 2020. And if you've been coming during the summer, you haven't seen me a whole lot. And I'd be glad to meet you and greet you and get to know you a bit. I'm back in the pulpit for at least the next 5 Sundays in a row. So you get to have me here, and I get to have you in front of me every Sunday. This is good. I'm very refreshed from the summer time, so thank you for that break. I have a few announcements I want to bring forward. One really important one is a Jewish lecturer is coming in today. The professor from Emory University is going to be here this afternoon at 3:30. This is our co-sponsorship with the Brevard Jewish community for the lecture series that they've been putting on. And so it's been held at different locations, and ours is the September one. And I'm very glad. This is he's both a history and Judaism teacher at Emory, and this is on Judaism or Jews in the understanding of America's history of race and race relations. So yeah, very interesting. I'm going to be here. How many of you are thinking of being here? All right, so it's not going to be an empty room. I was a little afraid. Some people saying, "Oh, we have family in town." No, I can't be there. So, and yeah, a few will come from the other congregations that are co-sponsoring this. Thank you for your interest in this. And I have baked cookies, as have others. So you not only get to hear a great lecture, you get cookies. I want to show the newspaper. Transylvania Time, front page. UUTC is on the front page. And I'm looking directly at Kevin and Tricia. Thank you, Kevin and Tricia. This Adulting 101 teen camp this summer hit the front page. What we did, how we helped in the community, and the hope that maybe next summer even more teens will show up to learn all this stuff. And some of this stuff is what you'd get at just about any place. And then they throw in this one part about going to the health department and learning about sexual health and getting condoms. And so I know this is a Unitarian Universalist approach to being ready for adulthood. So thank you. Make it a sellout copy. Go and get yours if you don't already. I have put a sign-up sheet out front. I was contacted by a person at Brevard Elementary School saying that up to now they've been able to find some ways of getting snacks for kids who always seem to be hungry every day. And they're saying the demand is actually more than their staff can keep hold of, and reached out to us and said, "Can UUTC help? Would you have some people willing to go get snacks?" I have a sign-up sheet, so you can write your name, your email, your phone number, and that way I can get back to the school and say, yeah, we've got some folks who are willing to do this. Do you want me to coordinate? Do you want to coordinate? And we'll find out more of what will help. Food anxiety is a big deal, and it does make it hard for folks to learn or behave. So that's a really good thing. I appreciate that we were asked. There is a postcard writing party after church today. Yay. The ice cream social is actually for the kids, but Tricia asked, should I get a little more ice cream for some adults? And I said, well, if they're staying to write postcards, they might also insist on ice cream. I don't know. But first I want to say thank you. Up through last weekend, we handed out 1,200 addresses and postcards. We got a grant to buy stamps, and a lot of people donated their own money for stamps too. That's huge. Last year we sent out 500 postcards for Get Out the Vote. Now we have 1,200 already accounted for, and 50 I held back for today for the postcard party. Yeah, all of you, thank you. There's a Habitat for Humanity sign up out there. Marcia Coe. Marcia, where are you sitting? Marcia's sitting over. Keep your hand up. There we go. I see Marcia. If anybody wants to turn around and see Marcia. Yeah, okay, you could do, mask on or off, we'll recognize you. Marcia's our contact person, and way back, months ago, she said, can we do some kind of interfaith day with another congregation or congregations? And I said, yeah, go for it. So Sacred Heart Catholic, and I talked to Father Sean this week, is signed up as well. I think they have a dozen people signed up for it. We're getting there on our sign-up sheet, and I've now heard that that's so many people turning out that we might end up doing a couple of days together. Right. See that? Now there may be 3 or 4, but the sign-up sheet is still out there, and the forms to fill out for your releases. If you are under 18, you need a permission slip signed that's in that packet. I'm not looking at many of those people in here. But it is an option for a teenager, for example, to be part of the project with parental permission. Somebody asked me that, actually, so that's the answer. There is so much more going on, but I want to get into the service. Thank you all for listening to these brief announcements and for being here and engaged so much in all that we're doing. Appreciate this. I'll turn our attention now, and Michael help me with lighting candles. We have several that have been placed here. I will read these, and I have a few that were on my list already. Let's start with the first candle for profound sadness about gun violence. Chuck and Elena have a concern, thoughts and prayers for their friend Ginny who's in surgery for cancer. Indeed, can we light another candle for all those folks who are facing medical issues, who may not be naming it at this point? And also, I'd like to light a candle for Carla Marr, who came home from the hospital on Thursday, but still has a lot of medical stuff to recover from and heal from. Bruce. Yeah, and Andrea Greenwood Harris, welcome. I'm glad you're here as a guest. And Andrea was in my class in theological school, and Christy and I had her at our wedding as a guest, and just lovely to see you. Thank you for coming. Let's light a candle as well for all those things not shared, perhaps held in the hearts of folks here, or folks who are online. This glow is to remind us all of the joys and sorrows we have yet to learn from one another. Let's keep spaces open in our conversations that we might better knit together this fabric of community. And now I invite you to turn, greet one another, and see each other's worth and dignity.
Good morning. Now let's begin with opening words by John Saxon. Listen. Can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. It calls us in the silence and through the noise and busyness of our daily lives. It calls us in the brightness of the day and the darkness of the night, in times of hope and despair. Listen, can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. It doesn't matter what you call it, for it has no name, and it has many names. The Spirit of life, the Spirit of love, the Spirit of compassion, of hope, of justice. Listen, can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. It's calling to you and to me. It's calling us to great wholeness, greater connection, greater service, greater love. It's calling us to heal the brokenness within ourselves, in others, and in the world. It's calling us to live more deeply. It's calling us to beauty. It's calling us to laugh and dance and sing. It's calling us to live through life's pain and sorrow. It's calling us to live courageously and kindly, to speak our truth in love, and to bend the moral arc of the universe toward justice. It's calling us into community. It's calling us into the greater life of all. Listen, can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. Come, let us worship together. And now, as you are willing and able, please rise and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 360, Here We Have Gathered.
Thank you.
Now, if you'd join me in unison, let's do our chalice lighting words by the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. light our flaming chalice each week with a simple spark to make holy our time together. With this flame, may our highest intentions be refreshed. With this flame, may we remember who we are and whose we are. With this flame, may our faith be renewed and reignited to join our journey. Kevin?
Good morning, everybody. My name's Kevin, and along with Tricia and our wonderful teens, we work with the kids here at UUTC. And this month, we are talking about invitation, how to be a people of invitation that welcome all in, and how we try and break down divisions and break down borders and bring everybody together. And for this, our book today is called All of Us. Let me make sure I have this on. So, all of us. There we go. Oops, a little too fast. Let me get it right here. Going back one. There we go. So, me. Can be we, and you can come too, and they can be, hey, it's all of us. Hearts can unite, hands can set free. Words can be heard, you can all be. Some pray out loud, some close their eyes, some look to the earth, some look to the skies. Stars are so far, worlds disappear. Planets flung wide, we all live here. Mountains and streams, deserts and towns. Breathtaking sights. Remarkable sounds. Some build things up, some create art, some help the earth, and some heal the heart. Hands, hearts, minds, vibrant and strong, different, the same, we all belong. All kinds of kids, thoughtful and free, sometimes in groups, and sometimes just me. So, as we think of invitation this month, let's remember we are all working to break down the divides and bring all people together. And with that, we'll ask for KT to come up with our children's chalice, and we will sing the kids out. So thank you, KT.
This place works because of your generosity. We have the chance to receive the offering this morning, and I'll ask Bill Carpenter to come forward for our presenting our special organization offering for this month. We've already had 1 week of being able to put money in the pocket, but Bill, if you would come on up. Thank you. And introduce us to this month's special organization.
Good morning.
More?
Meals on Wheels was created in 1978. Its purpose was to deliver midday meals to the elderly homebound in Brevard and Rosman and this area. Since 1978, they have expanded tremendously. They now deliver 90 meals a day, 5 days a week. It requires 50 drivers and 30 other volunteers to manage this. We are like the mail. You know, we deliver 5 days a week through rain, shine, sleet, and snow. The difference is we also deliver on holidays. They are hot, nutritious meals which are supplied by Toomey Hospital. Not Toomey Hospital, Transylvania Hospital. They are nutritious meals, and they cost $5. About 60% of our clients can't pay. And so it's a very cost-requiring organization. And the cost is given by individual donors, churches like UUTC, and they have a few grants that help with these needy people. The drivers have the same routes every day, 5 days a week. And this allows them to have a relationship with their clients and to get to know them and not only deliver a hot meal, but also a warm body and a kind word. Kenny and I have a country route. That goes out to Liley Loop, and it's a little bit different from drivers who have a city route. Our routes are delivered to people who are isolated in the woods and the surrounding areas. They live in old trailers, old homes. They are isolated from their neighbors. They have no transportation and little family support. They spend their days, some of them spend their days listening to TV reruns and waiting for a hot meal and a kind word. Kenny and our route is a country route, and it's a little bit different from the city routes. We deliver to isolated trailers and old homes and in a relatively poor section of Brevard County. And our clients are sick and they are isolated from their neighbors and they have little family support. They can be very inspiring, though. One client we have is 90 years old, and he lives way back in the sticks. And he lives alone in a trailer, but he has a garden that he tends all day. He has chickens that he tends, and he feeds the wildlife at night. He is very gracious and kind and very thankful when we come, and he loves to chat a little bit after we deliver his meals. Most of us have financial and family support, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people are sick, alone, afraid, and have very little family support. And so I encourage you to look deep in your hearts and open your purses, because they all need our help. I also point out that we need a driver on Tuesdays. And I've left some information on the counters out front, and I would appreciate it if you would take a look and see if you might want to volunteer on a Tuesday. It's the same route, so you can get very familiar with the route and the clients. And I thank you and wish you well.
Thank you, Bill. For those of you wishing to give to Meals on Wheels, you put your money into the big envelope. The money that's left in the basket will help for the good causes of this congregation. We will now gratefully receive the morning offering. Thank you, Gypsy. Thank you, Ian. What is given in love we receive with great joy. Thank you. When it's time for me to meditate and connect with the Spirit, I go for a walk. I go outside, breathe the air, I watch the squirrels, I feel the crisp leaves under my feet. I invite you, in whatever way you can imagine yourself in the place that you need to be, to breathe deeply, to invite into yourself that sense of connection and holiness for this time of prayer and meditation. Spirit of love and life, we who are gathered here on this fine morning rejoice in the wonder and the beauty of nature around us. In the recognition of faces we know in our midst, the people who are our friends from just last week or forever, the folks who are likely to become our friends. Spirit of love and life, may we invite people into our circles. May we remember what it was like to be invited in. Every conversation is an invitation to know one another better. This morning in particularly, we welcome Sandy and Bruce Kirkman's guest, Andrea Greenwood Harris, visiting from Maine. Spirit of love and life, age, health, many things come and challenge us. We do not like to invite germs into our life, and yet they come. We do not like the worry of waiting for medical tests, and yet we must invite patience. On this morning in particular, we think of those who are facing medical issues, such as Chuck and Elena's friend Ginny in surgery for cancer, or Carla Marr, who came home from the hospital. And we bring our love and attention and prayers for all who are hurt, ill, wounded, recovering, or declining. On this weekend, as in many weeks, unfortunately, we feel the pain of parents and classmates from far away with yet another example of gun violence in our nation. And we hold a bit of silence, holding these prayers and the prayers of our hearts. In the names of those known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, in the names of all the helpers of humankind, we say, Amen, blessed be. John and James.
I am open and I am willing, For to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is a hurting in my family, and there is sorrow in my town. There is a panic all across the nation, and there is wailing the whole world round. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, and may the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though they burn our eyes. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty oak to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fear. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change.
Thank you. It's my understanding that John and James will be helping us with the choir next week. And then they're going away again. Oh, one more week? Oh. It's always wonderful. Thank you. Invitation. That's the title of the sermon for today, and I have a reading. Yeah, let me grab the hymn book because it's in the hymn book. This is a reading that we use when we're welcoming new members, and we do it responsively then, but I'm going to let you all just sit and listen as I read it this time around. and see how it flows over all of you. It's by Richard Gilbert. We bid you welcome. We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. Now, I think that's a pretty good invitation. I said in the newspaper blurb in the announcement that went out electronically to all the members and friends, y'all come back and find your connection here. This is a good time to do that. School's back in session. Most of the summer travels are over. Y'all come back. Maybe I should have said all y'all come back. I'm going to be reflecting on who we're invited to be in this welcome invitation and the energized yes to our worth and contribution in the world. Now, think of a time you have issued an invitation at a surprising moment in your life. I mean, really wild moment in your life. Think of something. When have you just, out of context, decided to issue an invitation? I'll tell you a time when I did this. Right here at Ingalls one evening. I'm in Ingalls, and there are two parents going down the aisle with a kid in the cart. I don't know how young this kid is, but young kid, young kid. And that kid is making noises that you can hear across the entire store. Now, the store's not real full at that time of the evening. It's not usually the time that people are out after dinner or whatever. And I just smile. And I go up to the parents and I look at them and I've already got my name tag on for my chorus rehearsal. And I say to the people, I sing with a chorus. And your child has the most perfect projection of voice I have heard. And I want you to know we want a voice like this in our choir. You got to grow up a few more years. But please, I hope this child goes on to sing. I invite them. Wild invitations in the midst of everything. Wild invitation. What other kind of invitations can you think of? There are times when our invitation is a liberation for folks. Our invitation goes beyond assumptions of closed doors and windows and hearts. Our invitation, like the "You are welcome" reading that I just did, our invitations can suddenly break open people's hearts to the point of knowing that they can be connected. Verne Myers is a cultural change catalyst, influencer, thought leader, social commentator, author. She's a Harvard-trained lawyer and founder of the Vernay Mayers Company, and is also the VP of Inclusion Strategy at Netflix. And she said, if diversity is being invited to the party, inclusion means being asked to dance. Then she went a little bit further. I've heard those two things before. She went a little bit further and then said, belonging is being asked for input into the playlist for the dance. When I talk about what we're asked to do in this month of invitation, it's to think of how you might surprise someone. Perhaps you will also surprise some parents with a child who's belting out whatever they're belting out, and invite them into connection with you. With a curious non sequitur about joining a chorus. Perhaps you will find that in our stretch for diversity and the book that Kevin showed, folks from all over the world, all different hues, all different voices, all different genders, you are welcome here. It's something that we say, but how does it become real? It comes real with an invitation to show up, an invitation to be in the dance. What is it? Let it be a dance we do, as the song goes. And then an invitation to say, what would you like to hear? What would help light your spirit? You know, we talk about when we're training teachers, leaders for our children's programs in Unitarian Universalism. It's not the technical knowledge that matters most. It's the music of how you do it. You can sing a lullaby and know that you are inviting that person not only to sleep, but into heart-to-heart connection through song. But even when you are not a singer, the way in which you invite others and talk with others with your voice, think of it as the music that supports the message. The words themselves sometimes could be as clumsy as possible. But the way in which you are genuinely moved to have them conveyed through spirit makes a huge difference. Sometimes it's really quiet. There's a biblical quote from 1 Kings, I think it's 19, but I didn't write it down, so I'm just going by memory. It says, the Lord was not in the wind, the Lord was not in the earthquake, the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire was a still small voice. Eliza Shores was writing around the meaning of this particular quote. A Jewish author writing about ways of understanding invitation to connection with the divine from within Judaism, but hopefully something that can be heard and understood no matter what religious tradition you're coming from. Eliza Shores said, it's not in the voice of religious intolerance or artificial enthusiasm that God ultimately speaks to us, but in the voice of humanity, love, and compassion from every aspect of life. this is never silent. It's a still small voice, but it's never silent. When we are here or out digging in the garden or going about whatever ordinary thing we're doing, I asked the men's group this week to consider a poem on calling that said, where were you when you heard the voice? Were you in the shower all soapy? Were you outside doing chores? I mean, men's group wants us to cover this poem for another week. It was not just a 1 week thing to think about. Where were you when you heard that voice? I'm hoping as we go into this month of considering the theme of invitation that you start in trying to remember when you have given an invitation to someone. In surprising ways, ordinary ways, diversity expanding ways. When you have invited someone to pick the music, when you have invited that still small voice, never silent, to be heard. And with that as a basis, how that helps you say yes to your calling in this world. This is just the first. There will be more sermons on this. I will expand on this. But for now, take that home and think about it. Write it down if you're into journaling. Commit it to memory. We bid you welcome. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your path, as Richard Gilbert said, we bid you welcome. And this month of invitation, may you extend that welcome, that invitation, deep into your hearts and exuberantly to others. Let's invite love into our hearts with hymn number 1029. I believe this is unfamiliar to us, so John will play the melody through once, and then we'll all join in. Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal a broken heart, to ease a troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin. May you find invitation that one opening to something new, that one piece of welcome that you were waiting for, that connection that reminds you of this home. Though we extinguish this chalice, may you carry it out with you and bring that light out into the world. May you experience the wonders of connection and love and return again with joy, again and again. Blessed be.